Hi guys, so welcome to another review video. Today I shall be reviewing a laptop that I've always wished to review for the longest time because so far this is one of the best Ultrabook you can get and the most affordable Ultrabook you can get for less than $230. Yeah. This is the lightest laptop I've ever put my hands on. Actually, this laptop weighs only 2.2 pounds. That's around 997 grams. Yeah, almost a kilogram. Very light, very slim, thin. And you know what? I really love the color because this is a very special color. It's blue. I don't know if it's night blue or what, but the bluish color is very unique and it's very hard to come across a HP laptop with a blue color. This is the HP Dragonfly and I can see how it looks like. We have that stylish HP logo over there. Matte finish. The body material is very firm, compact. It's made of magnesium. You can see how the back cover is. Unfortunately, the version that I'm using is a bit used, so we don't have these rubbers. Remember, these rubbers normally help the laptop have proper grip on the table. So if you're using on the table and the rubbers are there, it will have proper grip, and also it helps with elevation for proper airflow underneath the machine. Now this is how mine looks like. The rubbers are missing, as you can see. Then we have these small holes here for ventilation. This is just particularly for inflow of air into the laptop because we have some other vents right on the side here, yeah, for air exhaust, you can see. Then nothing much. We see you have around 5 screws here at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just to open the back cover in any case maybe you're doing a servicing to remove dust and the rest, so it's easier to access the internals. But the sad thing about that, I'll tell you later. Yeah, about the internals, I'll mention that later. Now, as usual, maybe let's just have a look at the ports and the exterior design. So on the left hand side we have a HDMI port. So this machine is slim, but it's also equipped with the most important ports that you might need in a laptop. So first and foremost, you have HDMI port, and it's the full size HDMI port. We have audio jack microphone combo port. Then we have two USB 3 Thunderbolt ports. You can see right over here. Both of them can be used for charging. Both of them can be used for display. Both of them can be used for data transfers, high-speed data transfer. Yeah, gigabytes per second. That is. Then on this left-hand side, we have USB Type A port. We have the power button. This is the Kingston lock. Then we have a SIM card slot right here. So it doesn't have an SD card slot, but this is a SIM card slot, which is normally optional. And maybe that was not visible, but once again, this is the Type A, power button, Kingston lock, and then you have the SIM card slot right over there, which is usually optional. And then you can see on this other side, there's that nice finishing. You can see the silver lining just to improve the styling of this machine. Now on the keyboard side, this is how it looks like. We have this ventilation, the ports for speakers here and here. And I must confess that this machine is so slim. You can see it's very slim, ultra slim, very slim. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I can't bring it closer because of my camera, but you realize how slim and thin this machine is. But the speakers we have over here, my goodness, the speakers here. If you've ever maybe experienced the sound quality coming from MacBooks, especially the latest MacBooks, yeah, from 2018 onwards, we have those good sound qualities coming from this machine. They're supported by Bang & Olufsen, you can see over here, but the sound from this machine is just top notch. I really love the sound. The mids and the highs are very of good quality despite the machine being slim. Again, here we have a fingerprint scanner right here. The trackpad is of glass surface, but you can see it's small, not so big. Of course the machine is small too. You can see the keyboard. Let's just give the keyboard first, but you can see we have the HP logo over there. Then right here we have the cameras. There's a camera shutter here, very hidden, you can see. No, actually it's not a camera shutter. As you know, the machine I'm using is a bit used, so this is not a camera shutter. It's unfortunate that you don't have a physical camera shutter, so you'll have to hide this camera, maybe just hold it. If you have somebody is you love your privacy, yeah, or you can buy the physical privacy shutters that are normally on sale, the small ones, and then you put it over here. Back to the keyboard once again. Just as I said concerning the speakers, the keyboards are to that level because the keyboard we have over here, let me just show you something. If I press on this keyboard like this, you see it's not sinking in, only the keys are sinking in. So this, it's a very, very compact machine, and the keys travel is very, very satisfying. Yeah, you can see the travel distance. So it looks like it's a bit light, tough. Maybe there's that scenario, maybe you're typing in the middle of the night. Yeah, you're typing, then maybe you get tired, and these keys, they're somehow stiff to a point that if you place your fingers on top of them like this, they don't easily press on themselves. So you have to apply some power, and then the bouncing back is just sufficient. Let me just show you that. You see, so satisfying. Yeah, and the clicks are just not so loud, but I think I really love the clicks. Yeah, you can even feel them. And then it's a backlit keyboard. Yeah, you have the backlit icon right over here. Backlit keyboard, this is the backlit icon, you can see it over there. Again, not so many important shortcuts. One thing I love to maybe talk about concerning this keyboard, remember some of these machines that we normally use are refurbished. So yours might have an English keyboard, a French keyboard, a UK keyboard, US keyboard. So there are a variety of keyboards out there. So if you get one that looks like mine, you can see here we have some icons that actually I don't even understand these icons. Can see here we have things like looks like Chinese, something like here. So this is probably maybe a Chinese keyboard. Yeah, but if you get one that looks like this, don't get surprised maybe thinking that you've gotten a fake version. It's just an original version, only that the keyboard language is different from your location. So what you always do in that scenario, you get stickers. You stick the keys, yeah, the stickers on top of these keys to match the functions. As you can see, we have the art here instead of having it here on top of two. So there's a change of the functions right here. Now let's turn it on. We see how fast it turns on, and remember we have the power button on the sides. Yeah, that helps if you place it on tablet mode like this. You're using it, so you'll be having easy access to the power button just to turn it off if you want. Very, very light. My goodness, I really love this machine. Now let's turn it on, see how fast it takes to turn on. So I'll just boot it up. 1 2 3 go. Unfortunately, we don't have a timer today, but 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 down 18 19. What's happening? 20 22 23. Oh, we're having updates. This is so messed up. Yeah, why in the middle of a review are you getting updates? We'll have to wait for this update to end so that at least we boot it up again to see how fast it takes to boot up. Now, just before it turns on, as it's doing the updates, I'll just have to remind you that the version that I'm having over here, it's Core i5, you can see, 8th gen version. We have 8 GB of RAM here and 256 GB SSD. There are also similar versions with i7 processors, 16 GB of RAM, 512 GB SSD, maximum versions. Again, for the display, the one that I'm having is 1920, that is full HD display, and almost all of them have full HD display, but now the difference comes with the brightness levels of the screen. The one I have here has 400 nits of brightness levels. The highest one has around 1000 nits of brightness level. That is so bright, and I think even with 400 nits of brightness levels, you're good to go. And one thing that I love to clarify just before it turns on, that is, remember, with this machine, even though it's easier to access the bottom cover or the internals, there's nothing much we can do over there apart from doing a servicing maybe of the fan when it's overheating, because you can't upgrade the RAM. You can only upgrade the storage and maybe change the battery, nothing else. Yeah, so that is, if you're going to buy it, if you're a business professional, maybe you'll be running so many applications at the same time, then you need to get 16 GB of RAM. And maybe if you are not dealing with so many applications, you just want something stylish, something that will get you on the go with the daily office task, then with 8 GB of RAM, 56 GB of RAM, you're good to go with this particular model that I'm having over here. We're still having it updating, and as it just turns on, let's give it some little time for it to boot up. I had to wait for it to finish updating so that we can continue the review. Therefore, we'll have to once again restart it to see how fast it actually takes to boot up, because remember the first one was interrupted by the updates. Restart it once again. I'm going to use a very special shortcut, that is Windows X. And then right over there, I press on U and then R to restart. See, it's going to restart. Let's see how fast it takes to restart. Give it some time. Restarting. It's taking a lot of time to shut down. Maybe I'm impatient, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, so it's off. Now let's see how fast it takes to turn on. So that is 1. See there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I don't know what to think about that. Maybe 22 seconds is somehow bad. It would have taken maybe 10 seconds or 15. 22 is bad, but nevertheless, it's still very fast compared to most of the laptops. And remember, it's just a business machine, so definitely that's not a bad timing. Now that it's on, let me show you the specs and the internal properties. As usual, I normally like using this shortcut Control-Shift-Escape so that you get to the task manager. And then once you're at the task manager, remember it's start screen, so I'll just have to flip it to X360 so that you get to access what you want. Now you come to the performance tab right over here, and then you'll see everything about this machine right over here. So first thing first, the CPU, you can see we have Core i5 8 Gen CPU, 8265U at 1.6 GHz. The base speed right here is 1.8 GHz. We have 1 socket, 4 cores, and 8 logical processors. Yeah, so it has 8 CPUs and 4 cores. And then for the memory, we have 8 GB of RAM. You can see right over there, you have 8 GB of RAM here. And the type of memory is raw chip, so it means it's not upgradable. Yeah, slots use is 2 out of 2, so you can't upgrade the RAM. They're solely on the motherboard. Then here the disk. For the disk, we have now I think you're having sensitivity issues right over here. I think it's due to the drivers. We have the disk. The one we have is SK Hynix. Remember how fast the machine boots up, apart from the processor, and the rest depends on the type of SSD or disk storage device we have over here. So for here we have the Hynix. I don't know how good that is, but maybe if we had something like Samsung, it would have booted much faster because they usually have good quality. But the one we have is 256 GB SSD. And then for the GPU, now very, very important. What's happening? I think the drivers, they have not updated properly. Yeah, so for the GPU we have Intel HD 620 graphics, Ultra HD 620 graphics, which is also a very good graphic card. Now remember, this is specifically a business machine. This is not a gaming machine. It's not video editing machine. It's just a business machine. The only maybe application for video editing or content creation that you can install here is just Adobe Photoshop, maybe Lightroom, but not Premiere Pro. Anything to do with video editing, the heavy ones will make the machine struggle a bit because it's very thin and the cooling effects are a bit down, so it will overheat definitely. But again, despite overheating, let me just tell you something here. We have a magnesium body here, and it doesn't conduct so much heat. Yeah, so you can put it on your palm, and you won't feel the heat, a lot of heat emanating from this part. Yeah. So now back to our interface. Remember, we have a very good display here. It's a 1920 by 1080 display. Yeah, let me just show you here under the display settings. Yeah, so you can see here we have the display is 1920 by 1080, so it's a full HD resolution display. The colors are very conk. If it is, you want to see maybe the gray color, the black color, the blue colors, they're very conk and to the point. Yeah, I'll just show you by a video, and then we'll do the test for the speakers. But before that, let's talk about the battery. Remember, one thing I really love about this machine, despite it being slim, the screen being good, having a good amount of ports that you might need, the battery is also a selling point for this machine, because the battery I have over here, I tested it today, and since morning up to now, the point that I'm recording this video, and you can see here for the timing. The recording of this video is around 1:56 a.m. Yeah, I'm not recording this video. I've only charged it once. Yeah, so I used it throughout the day, just browsing and doing so many stuff, and the battery lasted around 8 hours. And remember, it's a used machine, and the battery is still lasting 8 hours for browsing, not doing heavy tasks. Maybe if I did heavier tasks than that, it would have drained the battery faster. But I really loved how the battery consumption is so efficient on this particular machine. That's why I highly recommend it. Let me test the camera, because it's also important if you're doing Zoom meetings. And for the security features, as said earlier, we have the fingerprint right over here. Let's see if we have a face scanner. We just come to the Windows X shortcut, and then here navigate to device manager. Right over there, the device manager. Let's give it some time. Now at the device manager here, you always come to the biometric options. See this option here, the biometric one. Yeah, come to the biometric one, and you can see we have facial recognition, Windows Hello. Yeah, and then we have synaptics, touch, fingerprints. So it means within this camera here, there is a Windows Hello is integrated just beside it here. I can see them. There's some red lights here and here. Yeah, the IR Windows Hello face scanners just beside the main camera right over here. So they're integrated right inside this frame here. You can also see how slim the bezel is. That I'm not going to mention, because that is just something you see with your eyes, and definitely it's so impressive. I really love that finishing or the slimness of the bezels. Now, as I said earlier, we have very good security features, fingerprint and facial scanner available. We'll do a test for the camera. We see how good the camera is just before we do test for the video, how good the screen is, and the speakers. Yeah, I'm sure I'm really waiting to hear how good the sound quality of the speakers are. But first, let's test the camera. So I'll just open up the camera, and let me just have a seat. See how good the camera is. So hi guys, this is the camera of the HP Dragonfly, and definitely I'm putting on a Manchester United shirt. Remember, as I'm recording this game, Manchester United will be having a match like 1 week from now. We'll be having the finals of the Europa League, that is in 2025, 21st of May. Europa League final, Manchester United versus Tottenham. I don't know how good the sound quality or the microphones of this HP Dragonfly is, but I assume they're fine. Let me know in the comment section what you think. The camera quality is not that bad. Yeah, I'm appearing to be dark. Maybe it's due to poor lighting in the room, but I love how good the camera is, because there's no flicker, there's no delay. Yeah, so it's still good for Zoom call and the rest. Not so perfect as most high-end laptops that I've reviewed. Yeah, so I think maybe they should work on this because 720 for such a Ultrabook, a good machine like this, I think they should lift up the notch a bit higher. So as usual for the displays test, I normally love using this OLED LG, the black 4K, just to show you how good the display quality is. Yeah. So let me just adjust the brightness. I think I have to adjust the brightness of the screen to its best. Yeah. So we're having, that is 400 nits of brightness levels. Yeah. So just have a look at the display on your own and tell me what to think about this display. Yeah, let me just play the video. Yeah, so just have a look at the black areas, the green, the differentiation in the color, the contrast. Yeah, so now it's dark. Have a look at the color. Yeah, tell me what you think about this display. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, just have a look at the yellows. Look at the transparent parts. Have a look at the blacks. Have a look at the yellows. Yeah, see the brown. The color concentration on this particular screen is just so amazing. So assuming maybe you're watching a movie on this or you're editing a photo on this display, it's just top notch. Yeah, you're watching your favorite maybe YouTube podcast, what movie. Yeah, I really love the display we have over here. They really invested in the display, and at the same time they made the display power efficient because it doesn't consume so much heat. Because remember, most of these touch screen laptops consume so much power. Yeah, they drain the battery so fast. But on this one, I think there's something they added, yeah, beyond the layer, just to make it perfect. So by design of this laptop, I'm not going to open the back cover just to show you what happens, but underneath this machine what we have is we have four speakers. That is, we have two speakers on the right and left, and for the two speakers we have on the right, for example, we have a speaker right over here, and then there's another one over here. So one of those speakers, especially the one we have underneath them, they produce the bass, and then the ones on top produce the mids. So we have mid-range speakers and the bass speakers, but on this particular HP model. So guys, we've come to the end of this review. Let me know what you think about this HP Dragonfly. Do you think maybe I've changed your mind? You can go have it, or you feel it's not still right there to your needs? But definitely, according to me, I think we should go have a look at this masterpiece, guys. See you on the next review, and if you own this particular model, let us know in the comment section how it's currently serving you, any disadvantages or any advantages so far you have with it. Let us know in the comment section. See you on the next one, and as usual, bye bye.